So, good evening guys. Hello everyone. So, my name is Hyejun, and I've been studying Chinese for like about 4 years now. And today's topic of the presentation is learning Chinese as a Korean, the languages of close neighbors. Alright, so let's begin this presentation with my own life story, which is somehow detached from our main topic but still interesting and funny. So here we go. So, throughout my life, I have to admit that I've devoted a significant amount of passion and time in learning foreign languages, particularly English. And during my time abroad, I even went to Canada for a language learning program when I was younger and found learning English extremely hard. Can you guys guess, I even spent over a decade to reach a certain level of English proficiency that universities and English-speaking countries require. But during my time abroad, I met a lot of European students from countries like France and Germany who freshly graduated from their high school and who could speak 4 or 5 different languages, including English. By the time I just realized it, I was a little pissed off, or even just jealous of them, of how they could speak or learn different languages that fast. But the trick was really simple because learning the language of a neighboring country is easy. In other words, countries that share the same linguistic roots and culture ties make it easier to learn each other's languages. So yeah, that was how the French students could speak German, German could speak French, French could speak Spanish, and vice versa and so forth. So with that logic in my mind, despite the widespread perception that learning Chinese is difficult, me as a Korean, I find it relatively straightforward because I found there's a lot of words in Chinese that have the same meaning and pronunciation as in Korean. So, for example, we have a word 관광, which means tourism, but that's also 관광 in Korean. Another example, 이동 sounds slightly different, but without the photos, it's just 이동 in Korean. So see, there are many words that have the same pronunciation and meaning in both languages. And according to the research, statistically, for about 50% of the vocabulary is 这样 in both languages. So that's what has hit me because during my study journey, I met a lot of students, a lot of foreign, Korean friends. They just already gave up studying Chinese because it seemed difficult. But for me, it's only logical that learning a language of a neighboring country should be easy given its geographical proximity, right? So now, on to the core of our presentation, which is I'm going to show you the essential principles of learning Chinese with a background in Korean. And now, I know exactly what you guys be feeling, because you guys will be crying and disheartened about I'm not Korean or I'm early Chinese, so I speak Chinese very well, so what's the point of this? Yeah, exactly. But those principles I'm going to explain are actually just as important for Chinese students wanting to learn Korean. So please be tuned, and no matter if it's not interesting to you, it'll still be the innovative method of learning Chinese that you've never seen before. So let's go on. The first principle is same character and same sound. So as I mentioned before, there are 50% of vocabulary that have the same in common in both languages. Now we dive in this into more deeper, into details with actual examples. So now we all know this is 民主, right? Which means democracy. But without tones, it's just 민주 in Korean. 인용, but without tones in Korean, it's 인용. I'm going faster here. 신용, 신용. 이동, 이동. 농민, 농민. 차이, 차이. 이왕, 이왕, 관광, 관광, 화, 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 강, and many others. So now you can all see they all pronounce the same, like all the differences, the tones, word tones, 声调. So if you're a Korean, you already start off knowing 50% of the vocabulary needed to learn Chinese. That's fascinating, right? Alright, now move on to the next principle, which is actually the next two principles are the discoveries I made during my study journey, and they're quite astonishing. So the second principle is the consonant principle, aka strong sound principle. So Chinese consonants sound heavy, thick, and strong. So what I mean by strong here is that, so see, we have a table here, and on my left hand, there are Korean pronunciation, and whereas the right side is the Chinese pronunciation. So all I want you to do is just ignore all the just Korean letters here, but those highlighted. So what I argue was, when you speak Korean forcefully and more powerful, it somehow corresponds to the sounds of Chinese. So 그 stronger, 그, 두, 투, 부, 푸, 스, 스, 즈, 치, 치, 트, 그, 스, 무, 으. Now stick to it. Now onto the actual example. So we have this letter. This is 공 in Korean. But when you make G, makes it stronger, it turns into k. So it's 공 now. But we tone 공. So now it's 공 in Chinese. So confuses. 공zi is 공자 in Korean. Another example, that's 동 in Korean. But make it stronger, 두 turns into t. So 통, we tones 통. Another example, 동, 통, 통. Two Chinese characters making one word, but still straightforward. So 동공, it's 동공 in Korean. But when you sound forcefully, it somehow turns into 통콩, but we tones 통콩. That's the logicness in here. 반, stronger, T, 판, 판. Yeah, now are you guys ready for this? 정성, 주주, 비비, 진진, 송송, 동동, 부부, 방방. Yeah, I'm not joking. Like, I think there must be some principles beneath this system in here. Like, we need to rebuild this to find out the strategies of learning Chinese more efficiently and effectively. Now on to the third principle, which is vowel principle, also known as stretched out principle. I think Chinese vowels are spoken slowly, 慢慢的. But what I mean by slowly is I don't want you to speak like literally slowly. No, not 这样. So like what I want you to do is just focus on it stretched out. So here we go. So now on my left hand, this is one of the typical vowels in Korea, which sounds e. And as you can see, apparently it's the combination of two different vowels in here, which are a and e. So when you put these together, it turns into e, right? So let's go on an actual example. This Chinese picture, as you all easily know, is I, but that's e in Korean. And e here, e, we stretch out into two different vowels, which are a and e. So e turns into a, e, and we tone I. Now that's the word that you guys know, right? Are familiar with I. Another, that's also 제 in Korean. So stretch out 자이, 자, 개 stretch out 가이, 카, 해 stretch out 하이, 하이, le stretch out 라이, 라이. Now, some of you who are quick with it would have noticed that, okay, if you're saying this is 제 in Korean, so why not 자이, not 자? Or this is 개 in Korean, so why not 가이? So some of you can answer, like,
used to be pronounced like I and it got shorter.
oh yeah, so it's not 자이, right? It's 자 in reality, right? So actually the here is, if you still remember consonant principle, which was the second principle, it wants you to make it stronger, right? So it's not tai, it's da. It's not kai, it's ka. Make it stronger, hai, right? Yep. Oh, another example. So it's te in Korean. So te starts off tai, kwe, kwai, kwai. Te, tai, te, tai, da. Yeah. I guess like if you're Korean, like with these background in Korean, like it's almost like when you study in Chinese, it unfolds it like magic. So now we've all covered the three principles, which were same character, same sound, consonant principle, and vowel principle. And you guys may be thinking like, alright mate, so I understand that you study Chinese in a somewhat weird way, but what next? Yeah, I'm also curious, what next? So what I want to do here is, so if I take advantage of these weird principles to study my Chinese, and that was because they are all based on the fact that we have the 50% of the vocabulary that in the same in those languages. We are placed in the same Hanzi culture spectrum, so that was happened. Then, how about doing this? Backwards. So what I mean by here is that if I take advantage of the fact that we have the 50% of the same vocabulary, that goes into you. That goes, if I can take advantage of it, you guys can take advantage of, applies in when studying Korean, right? Yeah. So let's go all the way back to the first principle, which was same character and same sound. So yeah, and we're deep into this. So it's 민주, right? But this time without tone, just flat sound, monotone. Let's say 민주. Now we all know how to speak Korean. It's 민주. 임용, no. Without tones, 임용. 아하. 심용, simple. 화. 탕. So easy, right?
Yes.
Now, the second principle, which was consonant principle, strong sound principle. So I previously said when you speak Korean with forceful sounds and stronger, it somehow corresponds to Chinese sounds. But these times, I want you to do the sound speak smoothly, like just lessen yourself. So what we do is like here to here, right? From here to here. Now we go in a reverse, so stronger to smoother. Here we go. So this character is 동 in Chinese, right? So 동, smoother, 동 without tone, 동. So it's just 동 in Korean. And that one is also kong, not kong, kong without tone, kong. Now when we put them together, 동공, which is when we just sound smoother, it's 동공, and without tones, 동공. Now we don't know how to speak eyeballs in Korean. I bet this is the first Korean words that you ever learned. Eyeballs. Okay. The last principle. Yeah, stretch style principle. So I said when speaking Chinese, they're likely to be spoken slowly. But this time, we're going to be shorten a bit. Just put them together. So here we go. So yeah, as I said, like from here to here this time. So just shorten. Just put them together. Right? Faster. Right? Alright, so this is I, right? Without a tone, monotone, and when put them together, it's right? So 爱情, so 爱情的爱, so it's is 爱情是爱情. And also 在前, 所以现在是现在. Yeah, exactly. Another example, like hai, when put them together, it will become he, right? So it's 东海、西海都是东黑、서해. Yep, put them together. Faster in Korean. Now, as we've seen, studying the language of a neighboring country is just as simple as its geographical proximity. I hope you found my story entertaining. And through this lecture, my little hope is that we've realized like how closely connected China and Korea are as friendly nations, and with that knowledge, we encourage the maintenance of warm diplomatic relationships between countries. Thank you for listening to my presentation.